about.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad to see you're well prepared for this.
Yeah, well, being prepared is not my number one strong suit, as you would know. But so 2 kids, huh? Two wives. 2 wives?
0 wives.
0 wives. Okay, that's good. Okay.
We're going. He said we're
I told you, stop pretending
why
like
you-
they exist. Do not pretend like they exist. They're not even people right now for the next hour. They are afterwards, though. So if I was actually thinking, I surveyed a bunch of people and talked a lot with my wife about this, and she thought it would be a good idea to ask. If you had to go to war tomorrow and you got to select the people that you were going to take with you, and you can only choose one boy band to take with you, who would you choose? And I know what you're thinking. The first thought you went to were the 2 most massive boy band successes of all time, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. But there's more than that.
There
So
are, yeah.
you can take a second to think, or if you know, but don't leave out people like Boyz II Men, all right, or NWA. I know that most people want to say that they're boy bands, but NSYNC never played an instrument either. So they just got up on stage, did some dances, and did a lot of singing.
Yeah.
So who would you choose?
98 Degrees.
Yeah. Why?
Well, I think that they've got some grit because they didn't have it all, silver spoon to them like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. But I think they're still, fit young men, or now they're not.
They're not a little. They're a little older, but I did ask to throw it back. No, you get them in their prime. In their prime.
Yeah, I think Nick Lachey was a pretty studly guy, and I think he can carry a 240.
He got his own show with, what was her name?
He pulled Jessica Simpson.
That was easy pull back in the day when you offer an MTV movie deal or show, whatever they did. So we're here to get to know you a little bit. I know, like you were just telling me before this, you're not an interesting person to really get to know.
True.
But we have Major Mike Anderson, tying S3, correct me if I'm wrong, 116 infantry. He's been doing that for about the last year. So let's just start there. What's that been like? Because usually we all know field grade positions and or battalion S3 positions to kind of be a little hellish.
Yeah, I mean, I think I never wanted to be a field grade officer because as a lieutenant and a company grade officer, I watched my field grades, sleep in the office or work till 2200 and be there at 04, and then just look like they were 100 years old. We had one guy that we called Old Leatherface.
You're looking good if it matters to you at all. You're looking fine for right
actually.
now.
Yeah, we called him Old Leatherface, and turns out he was our age. So, but no,
time is not the same to everybody. It's not the same.
They just never were happy. They never saw their families. They, got old and fat and soft, and they just didn't look like they were enjoying life. We weren't even allowed to talk to them as lieutenants. We had to go through through a captain to talk to the major. And it just didn't look like something I wanted to do. Then, as I finished out company command and realized that, I think I could do the job better than they could.
Right, yeah, as everybody, most prideful people do. Get it.
Arrogant. But, so I got to come here to Fort Riley, and I was a Battalion XO first. And,
yeah, that's right.
And a 234, and just the leaders that I had were different than I guess the leaders that I had when I was a lieutenant. We actually were able to practice some work-life balance, and I felt like I was actually able to give back some of the things that I've learned over 15 years to the lieutenants and captains, and now this year as a Battalion S3, different battalion commander and sergeant major were great. And I feel like a valued member of the team that, it's my battalion too. So, yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool actually.
So when you said you were in 234 as the XO, and you came from, where'd you come from?
I was in 1st Corps headquarters, so I was at
Okay.
JBLM.
All right, so coming in, and that's a relatively new, so you got to experience that. And then now, most of the time, you usually stay in the same battalion because sometimes most of the time you come in as an S3, you move up to XO, and then you kind of go on and do whatever. You're just the way that you came in and the luck of the draw, you got to be an XO, and I don't think they wanted to put you as an S3 in the same battalion. Would be my guess. I don't know. Maybe they just thought you needed to go to a different,
Yeah,
maybe
probably-
an infantry regiment or
Probably
whatever.
some corrective training.
Yeah, probably more than likely, given what your evaluation said. But anyways, how is that? Like, is that because we get pretty prideful in the units that we serve in, right? So you spend a lot of time, especially as an XO, like you're drinking 2, 3 fourths Kool-Aid pretty heavy and even if you're drinking it because you don't want to, like you're probably bought in to a certain experience, like because you want that battalion to be the best, and now you have to move battalions. And like, you still want that battalion to be the best? Like, no, like now you have to
Want them to
build
be
up.
a close second.
Exactly.
Close
So,
second.
is there like a weird transition there, or does that even matter? Like, you just kind of it's like well, I don't even know why we're talking about it.
I mean, like it was weird for me because I did. I still do love 234. Fear God, dread not, right? And I care about the organization because like they just had such good people. Colonel Adams was the battalion commander, and
Right.
he taught me a lot and kind of like empowered me. I think more than some of my peers, and I'm super grateful for that. But I think I was given the opportunity to go to the infantry battalion because I'm an infantry officer, and
Oh, okay. That's right.
if things work out in the next couple of years, if I command an infantry battalion, it'd probably be helpful to be a field grade officer in an infantry heavy cab. So
What were some of the immediate differences that you felt coming from an armor heavy, two armor companies, one infantry company, and now it's just, it still has an armor company, but there's just 2 infantry companies, and it's more infantry dominant.
I think no matter how much we try not to place greater emphasis on one type of formation over the other, like if you have 2 of one kind of formation and 1 of another, you're going to focus more on that. So 234, we focused a lot more on the tanks because a company commander can solve a company problem. When you get 2 formations, that's all of a sudden it's a battalion problem. So now, like, we focus a lot more on infantry tactics, squad training, platoon dismounted infantry maneuver, and dismounted mounted integration. So like, I think it's a great transition for me to be able to get re-blued on some of the infantry basics.
All that sounds super smart, but what I'm worried about is like, so did you have to pretend?
We ran more. We run more now.
Those are the things.
Yeah.
So you actually had a better time in 234 because it was a more armor tank culture. It was more relaxing. You didn't have to run as much. Yeah. Like, you ate more donuts probably. Like, you just, like, the food, like, they actually had a spread on Maintenance Monday of like
catered.
Things, catered food. And then at the infantry battalion,
just
and like you were lucky to get water.
You run a 10 mile every day. No, we do definitely run more in 116. That's for sure. And I think the pride of the organization, infantry men have been pretty proud and vocal about being an infantryman for a long time. So
where's that a different? Like, was that, because with the one infantry company, it's probably a quieter voice.
Yeah.
But their pride is still there in their unit and what they do. Is that, but like, it was, that culture shift to be a little bit more, I guess, like, crap talkier.
I think they talked a lot less shit in 234 than in 116.
Okay.
So 116, even the tankers are pretty mouthy.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's always healthy. The healthy balance
of
shit talking is the best thing we can have. That's field grade time. But you highlighted watching field grades and old Leatherface, and Lord willing, that person's still serving today.
He's not. He retired.
Okay, probably because of his Leatherface. But your lieutenant and captain time, where were you at, and what was that time like? Did you have a good lieutenant? I always pride myself on the lieutenants that I had when I was the lieutenant. That group of lieutenants that we had, I thought was amazing. I thought it was like some of the best.
Yeah.
Oddly, I was like, even though we're dumb lieutenants, like I thought that was like a good group of dudes, and most of them are out now. But so I was wrong. But what was that time like for you? And like, how did that, because you say maybe the Army's a little bit different in the way that we view time, but maybe you're different in the way that you came up and saw those silly majors in the way that they acted, and now like you're different. You get to be the different person in the room. So, what was that time like as a lieutenant and captain?
So my first duty station after OBC was Fort Richardson, Alaska, on J Bear. I was in the 501st Airborne Unit, so like super
Yeah,
motivated.
You probably didn't run at all.
Yeah, I ran a little bit. But I mean, I think I was like bottom 25% officer.
Makes sense.
Like everybody was, a freak of nature, the fastest, strongest, smartest people I've ever seen, ever met. Great command team there. General Ellis was my battalion commander.
Oh, nice.
And we deployed to Afghanistan, so it was formidable experience. And I really got to learn. Like when I first showed up, it'd be like 1700, and I'd be like, man, I'm ready to go home. Like why are all these
still
guys?
think that.
Why are all these guys hanging out? And like they don't want to go home. And I didn't click to me until we deployed and then redeployed, and then I was like, oh, I get it. Like they're used to working 24/7 on deployments, and they come home and they're just like they don't know what else to do. So I think that was like a pretty powerful lesson that I learned on trying to understand where other people are coming from, and then but also like learn when I can turn it off and turn it back on. But I had a great time. Loved Alaska. Anchorage is a pretty sweet spot. Recommend going there if you get a chance.
Do anything? What's like the most fun things you did up there?
I mean, we after deployment, me and a couple of lieutenants got a RV and road trip down the coast, and I don't think we missed a bar on the way, but it was a pretty good time. Yeah.
We used to have this fun game that we played when I was at Fort Benning. Sorry, it's Fort Benning, where my friend lived on exit 12. Mm-hmm. And so we would do an exit, like you have to stop at every exit and take a shot and try to get to his house. Just kidding.
With the DD.
Well, of course, right, yeah. No. Anyways, what'd you do after that?
I went to OSIT before the career course and did a company command there before I went to the career course. Did the career course. I went to JBLM. Did a couple company commands there and loved being at JBLM, beautiful Pacific Northwest, some good leaders there. We were in the field constantly. Did 3 NTC rotations in 2 years in company command. It was good.
I joke about that because I feel the minute everybody always complains about going to the field, but I think it's staffs, to be honest, that complain about going to the field, where I think if you were to ask your company, where would you rather be? Would you rather be here in Garrison doing whatever nonsense, or would you rather be out in the field? I think the answer is usually like out there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right.
That's why we signed up. I mean, I didn't join the Army to make PowerPoint slides or.
It's actually you did.
Fix You're right. I did. I didn't know I did, but.
It's embarrassing how little you know still today on how to do any of that.
But yeah, I mean, we had to drive out to Yakima from JBLM to do most of our training. Mm-hmm. So it was distraction free. So we would just take the company. We'd be there for 3 to 4 weeks at a time. And we went probably every other month, and we just train. Like, didn't worry about family issues. Didn't worry about guys getting drunk or causing trouble on the streets. But yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Those are all light units or striker units.
JBLM was striker units, and then Alaska was an airborne unit.
Is your time in strikers any time different than now in an ABCT?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a leading question. You're right. So because you just got back from NTC and the first brigade's rotation. Well, how was that? Like, what was that like in comparison?
Well, I guess I don't know if it's time or just experiences vary, but as a company commander, I don't remember spending all that time in the rough mountains. I don't remember all the maintenance and things being so deliberate.
Makes you grow up. The Army makes you grow up a little bit when you become a major. I've realized because I was the same way. It's like all these things that you just kind of like, oh, cool. My 14 pieces of equipment are done.
Yeah. Problem
I'm ready
solved.
to go. No, there's another 1,000 behind you that you have to worry about.
Didn't really get the 2-a-day PTs in that I did as a company commander.
Well, you could have, but you just didn't.
You're right. Discipline.
I can tell.
But in terms of like the rotation itself, very similar. I mean, we did through the Whale Gap, east to west rotations as a company commander, and we did the same thing with 1st Brigade when we went last month. So Tactically, all pretty similar. I mean, infantry battalion was clearing complex terrain and holding it.
So no matter what unit you go there with, it just sucks. Like they just find a way to level the bubble.
Well, I went as a battalion
suffering.
S3, so it didn't really suck for me.
Well, I went as a I've been I've been a couple times as well, and so I've twice as a AG officer, so S1 role, and I tell you, it's really difficult to sleep for 20 hours a day. Especially with the noise of everyone else working.
Yeah.
And so but I try to tell people, keep it down. I have to get, just like you get 4 hours, I have to get my 20.
Yeah, crew rest.
Because it's, well, I mean, awards don't process themselves and it doesn't take that long. So I, just kind of go and maximize my time. So Alaska, Washington, and now Kansas.
Yeah, I was at Bragg after company command for I was with the 2nd SFAB.
Okay. Was that a mistake?
No, no, I volunteered for it, despite my, chain of command's best efforts.
Don't do this job. Why? I don't know. Just don't do it.
Well, I mean,
because I didn't do it. That's why.
They associate it with the SFATs.
Oh.
From back in
That's just a
the
bad
day.
acronym.
And then they were like, "You're gonna get burned," but it was probably the best experience that I've had in the Army.
I thought you were going to say, and I got burned.
Yeah,
I did get burned.
I don't think I got burned. But yeah, we went deployed to Iraq. Had a lot of fun. Had a ton of autonomy. Did whatever I wanted to do with my partner force, and then went to CGSC. And then.
What's your partner? Who's your partner force?
It was the 50th Brigade of the Iraqi Army.
And what year was this?
2019.
So well after, obviously the invasion, which was like 2003. So that was a long time ago. So 16 years. I would imagine your partner force was awesome.
They had probably the same challenges that the guys saw in 2003.
What's the wildest challenge that you encountered, or something that you just and not to be rude or disparaging?
Yeah.
But you showed up and you said, "Oh, wow, okay, let me dial this back a little bit," and go.
I mean, it was probably seeing all the soldiers in their what's it called, airsoft kits. So it's they're plastic bicycle helmets and kit with no plates or anything.
Ready to go though.
Yeah, they thought they were ready to go. And I was like, "You're gonna die."
Please put this one on.
I mean, it was 12, 18 months after they retook Mosul, so there was a lot of combat experience in the Iraqi brigade, and they knew how to do a lot of things well. But
like I said, I would imagine so. I just have heard some fun stories.
Yeah,
every once in a while.
Some interesting ones.
So you've spent a lot of time in the Army. You said close to 15 years. Okay, that's awesome. Congratulations, you're almost there. Depending on how far you want to go. But what about family? What's the family look like?
I have 2 daughters, 6-year-old and a 3-year-old.
What do they do?
They go to school.
Okay.
Well, one goes to school and one goes to daycare. She calls it school.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, you have to. It's getting them in the mindset to just think it's all
conditioning
school.
them. Yeah.
That's the most important thing we do to our children.
But they're great. They just want to play princess all day long, and
Who's your favorite princess?
I think Rapunzel. I mean,
why?
I don't know. I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah. Mine's Moana.
Okay.
Because I can recite the whole movie. Is she a princess? Yeah, she's a princess.
She is.
Yeah, she is a princess.
Let me hear it a little bit.
The movie?
Yeah, just give me a little.
I can't do it now. You know how you can karaoke because you can see the words and you know the
music. So you don't actually know the words.
But if you play the movie, I have it. I have it down, and there's not a negative thought that ever comes into my mind if my kids ever want to watch Moana.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, what are some of the most fun things you do with your kids?
I think the Kansas City Zoo. Yeah. You
ever heard of the Omaha Zoo?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, you should try it.
Yeah. I don't live in Omaha.
It's it's a short jaunt. It's like 3 hours
Okay.
to see the best zoo in the country.
Yeah.
This is not a plug, but it's the
Sounds
best zoo
like
in the
a
country.
plug.
I'm from Omaha,
Oh.
so I would always Kansas City Zoo. It's great.
Yeah,
There's animals
there's
there.
a polar bear.
Cool. There's one polar bear. And
Yeah,
you think
there's
that's
one
your
polar-
that's your litmus test. Your Omaha Zoo will blow your
How
mind.
many polar bears does Omaha
Two.
have?
So already,
I don't know.
Already
A, I don't
better.
believe you. B, that's impressive.
I think they have multiple polar bears. Is that
Polar bears.
polar bear eye? Polar bears. They have multiple polar bears.
Okay.
Okay, and that is the most important thing.
Yeah, I'll be
is that
looking-
it's a
I'll be
better
looking
zoo.
into
It's the
it.
best zoo in the country.
You probably got a fact checker here. You're a fact checker.
Considering they're looking at us with disappointment, I don't think they're fact checking almost everything that we're doing. So with what's the most embarrassing thing that you've caught your kid doing recently?
Recently, probably eating gum off the floor of a restaurant.
Mike,
Wasn't her gum.
I told you that if you keep doing that, they're gonna watch you and learn. And
Usually under the table gum's fresh.
yeah, it's a little. It should be fresher. My daughter prides herself on being an outdoor kid. She's not. She's not even close to being an outdoor kid. And so when we took her out, okay, and I have a 4 and a 3-year-old, and they are just at this potty training. Well, the 4-year-old's good, but he learned by obviously when we were outside, just go, man, just. Find not that bush, not in the middle of the street, but find a spot outside.
Neighbors must love you.
Right, they do. Their plants look great. And our 3-year-old, who's just learning, who yells at us now anytime we try to put a diaper on him, wants to learn that way. Except for he doesn't know how to do it, really, very well. So my daughter also wanted to go outside because she didn't want to take the 2 minutes to go inside and do it. And I was like, that's a bad idea. I don't think the mechanics work the same. And they don't, because she all over her pants and then had to ride a bike for 30 minutes back to the truck because that's how far we were away from the truck.
It's a lesson remembered.
Yes, we'll see. Just, that's, to me, it's those moments that you get with your children. And then I brought it up yesterday.
That I told you so.
And she was not over it yet.
No.
She was still rich in her mind of embarrassment, which was good. I think it's good. I probably ruined her for a little bit, but I think it's good. Okay, so what's next for you as you kind of look out? What do you want to do next?
Well, what I think I'm going to do next.
Right. Well,
is
yeah.
Next year I'm going up to be the Deputy G3 for 1st Infantry Division.
Exciting. Are you excited about that?
I am excited about it.
Okay. Are you ready for the leather face?
I'm not going to get it. I moisturize, not daily, but like quarterly.
So
I
it was
think-
his problem.
Yeah, I
not,
think so.
What was that guy's name?
Colonel retired Rhett Thompson.
I can't believe
Can we
you said
edit
that.
that out?
I can't believe you just said that. That's funny. I'm sure he's a great
He
human
is,
being.
he is,
Yeah. And I'm sure his wife called him the same thing.
He would run across. We do officer PT, and he would just run across the field and just lay people out. I mean, he was a big dude, and he would just stand over them and go, "Ranger,"
And just run.
and run away. Yeah.
Terrifying to that person.
Yeah,
Why did that person just go do that? Who is your favorite Victory 5 member? Our leadership here in the division. You have our 2 DCGs. You have our Sergeant Major, and then you have the CG, and the Chief of Staff. Who would you think is your favorite of all of them?
My favorite. Okay.
Yeah. Again, it could be on any level. It doesn't have to be I think, of course, my favorite is CG. Of course, it's because he's the
because
best leader.
He's the highest one. Probably Sergeant Major Noyes. I think Danger 7 is pretty straightforward, and I mean he shoots everybody straight, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate his candor.
He is a very honest person. Very honest to me, to my face sometimes. Regardless of where my feelings are at that day, he is very honest, and sometimes it mostly hurts, but usually I'm able to take it with
He's
me
just trying to make a man out of you.
and grow.
Like Mulan,
Make a man out of me. That's right. It's the only words I know from that movie.
Yeah, that's me too.
Did you ever watch the? Did you? I've never seen. I've only ever seen like the live action remake. I never saw the cartoon growing up.
I didn't know that they made a live action Mulan.
Wow. Okay. Well, Disney is making live action remakes of everything.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Shot for shot remakes too. Like no,
yeah.
there seems to be no.
Like Footloose?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I did not see
Same
Footloose.
exact script.
Is it really?
Yeah, you can play them next to each other.
And just who's the better dancer?
Patrick Swayze, obviously.
Well, he's not in it.
Stupid
So
question. And
Footloose?
Oh yeah, Kevin Bacon.
Oh
You're
my
right.
gosh,
Well,
that's so
because they
embarrassing.
remade Dirty Dancing too. Same thing.
Was it really? Mm-hmm. Do you think the creativity in Hollywood's just like?
I mean, why be like? What's the incentive to be creative?
Because do you think they're making money though?
Oh, absolutely. Hand over foot.
See, I thought so. They're coming out with a new.
They're gonna remake this podcast one day.
It's just shot for shot remake with like some weird Waterloo water bottle sponsor. The Mufasa movie that's coming out, that would have been a better idea back in the day.
Yeah.
But sorry, I say back in the day.
When Lion King was hot. I mean.
Well, no, but like with the live action remake they did of The Lion King, and I thought that was boring and dumb.
Yeah.
Because it's like you knew it was just going to be the same thing, but then now they're coming out with the Mufasa movie, and I think if they would have done that originally and just said, "Hey, I think that would have been popular."
Gangbusters in the cinema.
Well, yeah, I know a thing or two about movies. I've seen at least.
Well, what's your favorite live action remake of a Disney movie?
Aladdin,
Oh,
because
100%.
it's the only one I've seen. And
I mean, Will Smith is in it.
Will Smith is good in it, I suppose, but it's just hard because Robin Williams was pretty magical as like the. I mean, he's just the voice, but like he's also a great actor too. But I think he was dead when they made it, so it would have been really hard to bring him back for
Science
the
still
remake. Still up in the air on that one. So, are Disney movies a big deal in your house, or like is it?
I wouldn't call it a big deal, but they play constantly. So.
Okay, sounds
It's just like background music, kind of.
Sounds like a big deal.
Yeah.
What are the kids' favorites, and like what do they lean towards?
I mean, it's
Not just movies. It can be like whatever show. Like what show?
I don't really watch. Well, my youngest man, Spidey and Amazing Friends.
It's
like
classic.
A Spider-Man.
Dude, it's
TV
great.
show.
Those Spider-Man can do anything.
Caught me off guard. I was like, one day she's just like, "Hey, I want to be Spider-Man." And I'm just like, "What?
Why am I stuck?
Yeah.
Where did you get this web?
But it's pretty cute. So.
We're a Bluey family, and
Yeah.
it's massively disappointing for a couple reasons. One, I think it's a good show, but it kind of makes the dad seem awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
I don't
great.
like shows like that.
No?
Because
Because
well, then they tell me like I'm making dinner.
how come you're not being funny and cooking dinner?
That's
at
never
the
the
same
problem.
time?
But the problem is they come and they'll say freeze, and I'm like in the middle like holding some like hot pan
Yeah.
that is a danger to everyone around them, and then I have to freeze. If I was pretending like I was the on that show that they want me to, so I obviously squash their hopes and dreams, and I just say no. I'm carrying a hot pan.
you're also not
I'm
a
making
dog.
you food. Like, can you at least appreciate the food I'm making for you? What kind of food do they like? I was talking about food. What kind of food do your kids like?
They've got a really, broad palate. Mainly, they'll try a lot of different types of macaroni and cheeses. So some are like.
Are they up to a 3-cheese blend yet, or
No.
just
no,
the powder?
Just
still?
the different shapes. Yeah, they're like, oh.
Is that even different powder? Just
No,
the shape?
yeah, the shape's the only
Yes,
thing
they
different.
love the caricature
If it's
shapes.
not orange,
the Mickey Mouse
and
shapes.
it's not microwave. They don't mess with it.
Does that stifle your creativity, or are you just like, nah, whatever?
I
I
guess
love
no.
I love mac and cheese.
No, I do. Like ever since they were little, like I'd always be really concerned about them not drinking enough water. Like when they were like babies.
Yeah, that's
I was
fair.
like, and they can't drink water when they're babies.
Yeah. Why not? Is
I don't know. No.
that true?
Yeah.
Whoops.
But anyway, when they're like, whatever,
Figure it out on the
toddlers
kid.
or something, they gotta drink water, but they never drink water.
Yeah, it's because they're so sold on milk
Yeah.
and the sugar that they put in milk. Don't get me started. Do you know a good raw milk guy? Do you know a good raw milk
I
guy?
do. I
Do you really?
Yes.
Don't lie to me.
Vinny.
Don't. I'm looking
Vinny,
for.
I know a guy named
I'm
Vinny who
looking-
can get you anything.
That's not safe or fair. I'm looking for a good raw milk guy. So
Okay.
if you know a good raw milk guy, I'm looking for one.
Yeah.
Do you think? Have you ever had raw milk?
I don't think so.
I've never either, but I would imagine it's disgusting. And it's like you have
It's just a heavy whipping
just
cream.
no, it can't be. It can't be that good. I'm a huge heavy whipping cream
No,
enthusiast,
I'm
though.
a whole milk guy.
Oh, wow.
You
I'm
don't
just
drink
gonna come
whole
out here
milk?
and say
Yeah.
whole milk,
Whole
like not
milk.
even 2%.
No.
I can see the whole milk. It rests on your hips.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your hips are kind of narrow, so it helps you. Helps you a lot more than you think. So, do you cook every night?
Yeah.
Like what do you cook? Like I know we joke about mac and cheese, but is it legit? I'm gonna microwave this meal.
No, I mean sometimes I'll get some microwave mac and cheese for like lunch on a weekend, but rice, vegetables, chicken. I'm a big crock pot guy because I'm lazy and I work a lot. So
I thought you didn't. I thought you were like made time for yourself.
Yeah, no, but like the funny thing about that time is it's still not a lot of time.
It's still not a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So there are probably close to 22 to 23 field grade officers majors in your. I like how you're getting eye squinty because you
Yeah.
feel like there's something weird coming, and there is. Who's your favorite?
My favorite major
Yeah.
in the brigade,
Like to work with.
in the division, in the brigade.
No, not division. Division's too large,
Yeah.
and I'm right here, so
That's
I
true.
don't want to. I don't want to make you feel awkward.
Favorite major to work with. I would have to say Chris Zajac.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he was my battle buddy last year at 234.
Okay, easy answer. Easy
And,
answer. Political answer. Good job.
Well, I mean, and he's the brigade XO, and I mean, he's just
So you're rubbing elbows.
hard
Got it.
worker. I'm just really just hunting for that good eval from him.
What do you think is as you see as at 15 years in, you have obviously now I don't want to say you're on the tail end of your field grade time, but you've done your 2 years at a battalion, KD complete. What are some of those lessons that you have taken from that you kind of see good field grade officers do and bad? Because we all know that there is a difference,
Yeah.
just like there is at every level of leadership or even soldiers, that you think is kind of a difference maker.
I mean, I think it's pretty easy. Like you got to give a shit, and like you would think that at this point in our career, everybody's who's still in gives a shit, but you can tell like pretty quickly who cares about the organization, cares about making it better, and they not just cares about their organization, but like the brigade and division as a whole. So you quickly find the 5 or 6 guys and gals that do care, and you try to help them out.
I've always thought to myself, we are in an incentiveless army.
Mm-hmm.
Like the army is a very incentiveless organization. And I don't mean that you can't earn some things and you can't be recognized in some ways, but the way I mean that is you can come up with the next greatest idea, and there's no way for the Army to incentivize you. They're just going to steal that idea and move forward and with it, or that unit's going to adopt it and move forward. So I think, and I'm agreeing with you, because I think there is it's almost like it's the level, I'm going to say a buzzword here, but like your patriotism towards the Army and like your feelings towards like how much you care is the only thing that's going to allow a unit to innovate itself. And if you don't have people that don't care enough about, and I'm not saying they don't care at all, but they don't care to the level of making something better to like truly innovate certain systems or equipment or whatever, it's never gonna be better.
Intrinsically motivated and or have a fear of somebody yelling at you.
Yeah.
That works too.
Yeah.
So.
That's why I do really well at home. Yeah, I don't want to get.
But also I think that we're always told be the best for your brigade or division or whatever, and share lessons learned, and that seems super easy, but it doesn't really happen that often. And then when it does, you're like, oh wow, that's actually incredibly helpful, to share that system. And then you know off the top of your head, the people that do that, and it definitely puts them above the rest.
Well, not only that, but if you're actually really good at your job, you just get asked to do more,
Yeah.
which is also a fun thing that happens all the time. Not to me. I've never ever been asked to take on more weight. It's actually they find things to take away from me, which is
somebody else will be hosting this podcast
right?
next
Yeah,
week.
or just because I have the time. They just looked around. I was like at the lunch cafeteria by myself, sitting there with all my friends, and they're like, "You could do it."
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. You need to get to work.
All right, if you could pick somebody to suffer through coming on here and doing this, who would you choose?
Probably Jess Kitchell.
Why?
She
deserves it.
Because she made me run really fast this morning.
How fast was that? Like 9?
It's 6:30.
Oh wow. Okay, so you just sprinted. Got it. You did sprints this morning.
No, I mean she's probably a little more polished and she's got a more interesting view on the Army, I think, than
What screams polished about what we're doing today?
I mean you're just you are the guiding beacon of professionalism for me.
Oh well, thanks.
No.
Thanks. I appreciate you coming out today.
No problem.
Thank you.